Hey, good morning and happy Sunday. Gonna take a little, it's been a little bit of a lazy day. I've been working on stuff around here and just gonna slowly get into coding today. Let's see. Where'd the other one go? Wasn't there another string one? Where'd that go? That was, I think I made a note, 318. Let's click on one of these. Is it done? It's done! Oh, nice. Okay. What do we got left? Oh, look at that. 90% complete. I think Carafel's working on this one currently. That one, maybe this one. And that one. Alright, I'm going to take a peek at this one. Last two pieces here. So the goal is really to get some of these internal APIs out of the public interface. These types are used in Godot GD native init and Godot GD native terminate. Alright, so the goal is really to get rid of that in the public interface. Alright, let's take a look. It's been really active lately. Get fetch GD native. Did that not switch back to, oh it did, okay. My network's a little sketchy today. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Well, we can get rid of this branch. Let's go back to get checkout. Let's see, this is 357, is it? That is 357. GD native master. There we go. Okay, now here we're going to find these two elements. Okay, here it is. So we don't want... How's it in the API currently? I see we have this here. Let's look at the docs for that. Cargo docs. Doc. Singular. uh, I see. So somebody, when they use this, is going to have to pull that in. Godot native terminate. Where is that? Okay, let's do this one first. Godot native init. That just popped up. The types are used in Godot, GD native init. Here, okay. As arguments to the callbacks. Is that obvious here? Oh, as arguments to the callback. Oh, I see. Okay. So inside that API, you provide a callback, and then once init's done or once something else is done, it's called. I see. So in some cases, this is actually getting populated. It's just passed in here. And we want to remove sys from the public API. All right, getting it now. You know what? That is not the right size, is it? Let me fix that. Let's see. That might be better. Hey, two-step. Yep, working on so close, so close. But if we go back to the issue list, milestones, it's at 90%, which is great. That's really nice. It's getting to the point where there's almost an alpha. I think they were talking about alpha once these issues are done, which will be cool. Oh, and there's a whole bunch of new good first issues. So anybody interested in picking these up, please do. This has been a public service announcement. I think the other half of this one is what I did when I first started. I actually did the class basis. We still need transform stuff. But yeah, this was like the first thing I did on this project. Other than maybe Clippy stuff. But it was fun. All right. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's going on at the moment. So my task today is to hide this. When we call back into this, it should have a different API. Well, it's interesting though. Godot native, GD native init options. What is this? So it's in the sys crate, GD native sys. Let's go take a look. Sys that. Well, here's the .h. Wow. Core API hash. This is interesting. I wonder if we should be using the API hash stuff instead. Report version mismatch. Terminate options. That's a little easier. Monitor GD native library that is being initialized. All right, let's see what we can do here. Do we have tests for this already? Test. Ooh, source test register, maybe. No. Let's search test for that. Still not matching. Because it looks like we're gonna need to convert some of these. Right, that shouldn't be just a pointer to that. Actually, this should be wrapped, shouldn't it? GD native. Just a minute, people. Gotta find some around here. Okay, back. Oh, that's right. It's gonna be the bindings. Let's go find that. Bindings.rs. Cargo check. Do I think the Rust implementation is overall more or less complex than the C++ version? I'm not familiar with the C++ version. So I couldn't say. I mean, this being in Rust, and Carousel and Toast Eater have been working on some things that carry over really, really nicely into Rust, or rather adding things that work really nicely in Rust. There's been a couple things that have gotten closed recently. What was it? It was these elements here. Red access type saves for this. 390. 390 was a good one. But basically adding lifetime elements, also tracking to see whether or not something is ref counted or not, and then trying to show that there are guarantees, if it's memory safe, if it's not. So the new API for version 0.9 is going to be what looks like safe by default, and it should be safe where it says it's safe. And then in places you can say, I want the unsafe version of this. I know that this pointer is going to be living longer, so I can basically take that away from the compiler. It's no longer its responsibility, and guarantee it myself. So in that sense, it's a little bit more complicated than the C++ version because the compiler can just do more. We're looking for binding.rs. Let's go look at target. Bindings. There we go. Oh, that's cool. I wonder what the left bracket means on this. Okay, we were looking for this equivalent, init options. There we are. Report version mismatch will be really nice. Okay, so let's create an init options. Now, how does this work? Here we do this, pass that in. Callback. Callback has that. Okay. Where's callback being used? There it is. Oh, I see. So when does this hack? When does that happen? It's the documentation we currently have on it. Declare the API endpoint to initialize the GD native API in startup. By default, this declares an extern function named Godot GD native init. This can be overwritten, for example. Okay. By overriding the default, this doesn't say anything about that API. Oh, you weren't sure if I was looking at the C or C++ code earlier? It was the header code from the C++, I guess, Godot header project, GD native headers. Yeah, the lesson sign in the doc, it doesn't do anything other than have a literal there. Oh, okay. I wonder why. That's funny. How's it going, Museum? Trying to unpack this. I don't see how this is registering at all. Create private, find API options. So you can rename it. I get that. That as that. Oh, I see. And then inside of Godot, let me start that up. Let's see. I don't think I have this one set to auto change, so I'll have to select that one. Now here, this is my project. If we go to the file system, I should be able to load up this, just how the binding is set up. Down here, I think there's a symbol prefix, yeah, right here. So this is trying to load that DLL. It's looking for certain functions with certain kind of naming patterns. So it needs a Godot underscore prefix on it. If we go back to the code, I see. So this blank as blank. So callback as function name ident, I see. Then they can rename it here and then get this little bit. Now the idea is to hide this so that the callback doesn't actually see that sort of function. And to make this compile, it looks like the only ones we would have to change around here are these two. Now, just for testing, as there's a little token in the macro matcher, I see it's not it's not language token. It's just literals. Got it. I see. The callback ident as the fn name ident. So they've named the function here. This callback is what they end up calling. Okay, so this thing here needs to take that, but then it can be converted to something else. Equals whatever, PA from, and then we pass that in here. That would also have to change these elements up here, that and this. Okay, so maybe something that hides these would be good. Something that can hold this type here and like just kind of like a, what do they call that pattern? It's not scaffold, it's I like the old West things. In the buildings they have the big starts with an F, doesn't it? Facade type. Go with the facade. Probably have something like this. Right, cis, yada yada. Okay. Well, that can't be renamed. Why? Oh, because it's in a macro, isn't it? Rust Analyzer was like, nope, not gonna do it. I don't want this to be public, just private. Maybe pub crate. Something like that. Because this is probably going to move out of the macros file here. I would expect it to move out of here. If it doesn't, that wouldn't be good. All right, so self there. Okay. Hmm. It doesn't see it being used because this macro isn't used, huh? That's fine. Interesting though. All right, now what is actually on this? This bit here. Well, I could copy some of these out directly. these properties here in editor, yada yada. Just make those public. Or just a little getter. Getter is probably simple. In editor and self. Self.options. Ah, but a Godot is different, isn't it? Oh, that's interesting. Standard mem zeroed. Hmm. Oh, wasn't that, this is created by the bindgen. So that'd be a bindgen update? So what's this saying? This is a mutable pointer to one of these? Does that mean we have to deref it here? Hmm. It's interesting. Okay. Super Archer G, welcome to the stream. Happy Sunday. Or standard pointer read. Ooh, what if it's null? Actually, it's a good question. All these new things. Ooh, unaligned volatile. Returns a T. It's undefined if such and such. Okay, so it is unsafe. Interesting. So what's the point of using this over just dereferencing it? Because it looks like it's basically unsafe. It's doing this. Deref uses read. Oh, interesting. So now, do we do... That's to that type. There we go, okay. Oh, as ref is probably better because it does a null check. Thank you. Not if it's null, otherwise does the reference to the values wrapped in sum. And we would rather have the panic than undefined behavior. So... Oh, there's is null. Interesting. What am I making? I'm currently working on Godot Rust. So Rust bindings for the Godot game engine. Oh, see if it's null in the new. I see, yeah. Expect not null, yeah. The raw deref is totally fine. Because the pointer shouldn't be null there, assuming somebody doesn't delete the pointer between new and, yeah, whatever that is. And I would expect that to be the case, especially because this is some sort of init callback, right, where they're handing you a pointer. Or rather, here. So they're, yeah, those shouldn't change. But you're right, here we should just check to see if it is null. Oh, interesting. can't use Godot error here because the API is not bound. But you can here. You've downloaded it, but you have no clue how it works. Rust is, yes. Yes, it is. Rust is free. Oh, it seems like panic or something else would be appropriate here. No, we should be able to use it there because this is actually binding it, right? And if it doesn't bind, then they can't do anything here, but we should be able to do something because that passed at that point. An assert? Yeah, it should be, shouldn't it? It would be exceptional if it wasn't, if it was null. Assert that it's not null here. Just move that up. Toss that in there, done. Get rid of that double. Okay. That looks good. Now in this, we'll change these back to the pointer deref. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, that should be those four. There we go. Ooh, this one's interesting. What do we do with GD native library? Active library path? Report version mismatch. That could, I wonder if we should be using that for one of the other tasks. There was a task that basically said if we're using Godot 4, bail out early. Otherwise, the editor could deer off a null pointer and unleash the nasal demons at work. Yes. Those are some of the worst bugs. Yeah, what we need to do is actually, until the 4.0 API is supported, we don't want one of the GD native Rust shared objects to be loaded into the beta version of 4, because it's really not supported. But this might be a nice way to describe that and say, no, we're not going to do this here. In editor core, I wonder what the API hash actually means here. Is it a true hash? No API hash, interesting. All right, and let's come back in here. I've got that. Option unsafe function here. So here, let's just toss a function on this. Pub function, report version mismatch. Let's see. Library, what do they want here? Godot object? What is this referencing? Maybe this one, GD native library? Probably. I mean, what other library could it be? It's probably expecting that we pass back something. In this case, this element here, GD native library. Want and have. Now, what is a Godot GD native API version? Oops, trying to go up. Let's go back up to the top. Sec. Oh, major and minor. Oh, lovely. Okay. Godot GD native API struct. Did we have that in here? Oh, we do. Godot GD native API struct. Lovely. I wonder what type is here. Okay. So how do I want to fill that out? This is going to be report such and such and self, slef and self. What? It's going to be some sort of string. And stir. Guess I don't know if report version mismatch is going to take ownership of this pointer or not. This is a well, which one is a function pointer? This here? This is actually handed to us. This function pointer is given to us. Raimu, welcome. Hey, it's good to see you. Yeah, so basically when Godot loads, they give us this object here. And so there's a function pointer that would be used if the loaded library wants to report a version mismatch. Um, so I'm just creating a little wrapper around this. But I'm not sure who's going to take ownership of that pointer here if somebody were to call that. We could just say this is a string. So we're given ownership and then we let it deallocate in here. I don't know. I'll have to test that out, or maybe even look it up in the documentation. All right. Let me check a couple things real quick. All right, that's fine. Let's see. We can fill in what we have, and we can express what we want. So here. Oh, you have to free it leaking it first? Oh, interesting. I see. So basically is that forget or free? Unsafe pointers in Rust are pretty much like in C. Yeah. Oh, box leak. Interesting. I see. If I convert it to a C string, it should be fine. Okay. Oh, this one seems pretty straightforward. Why would the function pointer be in this struct that you're passing to the C side? Oh, the C side passed us this function pointer. Is there a way to alias that? Oh yeah, we could just say we export this as that, right? Or have a type alias or something. They're trying to get away from using the sys stuff in the public API. We'll see. I wonder what the type is for this here, libc uint, cuint. Is this a 64-bit int? And not create a new one? Yeah. That's U32? All right, there shouldn't be anything else. Oh, if that exists. So that's optional, isn't it? Should be using the FFI types. Okay. I should be returning the string / API version for calling it. Wait, what do you mean I should be returning those for calling it? Hold on a sec. Now in this case, this is where this is getting called. So right here, basically Godot is going to call this, providing the GD native init options. We're going to wrap them here and provide a nice structure to the callback and not the sys bindgen stuff. That's all I'm trying to do is wrap the sys bindgen stuff so that it doesn't look like bindgen to the end user or to the API consumer. I mean, here we could use this. Which will have the function pointer in it. Yeah, I'm trying to wrap the function pointer in a method so that they can just call this. They don't worry about what's going on under the hood. The function pointer is CSO. It's using pointers to write to for results. I see. I think in this case, the user looks at API down below, the API struct, sees that they don't have the right version, and then they report that here. Then they call this function. They say, oh, no, we don't support this version. So yeah, in this case, they're going to be doing reporting the version mismatch, which will probably bubble up inside of Godot, and Godot might alert the editor that the DLL they loaded is not correct. The shared object isn't correct. Oh, I should absolutely do a. Oh, all right. Now, is there a way to call that function directly? So in this case, if we were to do like invoke the function, version mismatch function, it's just like this, right? Then we give it the library, the desired version, etc., and the version we have. Okay, just standard like C stuff. That's nice. Okay, we'll pretend that's actually filled out. We'll come back to this. Oh, interesting. It knows that it takes 4, but only 1 was supplied. Oh, that's cool. The extra parentheses. In order to isolate the function, I believe so. I don't think it'll do this. Because now it's... Oh. It looks like it will. Is that because we already deref the function here? Or deref the pointer? So now we just have a function. Well, a function pointer. Interesting. Let's try that out. Now in this case, let's get some locals. That library is going to be equal to... can I actually do that in there? Probably need to move that out here because I need to get a reference to it out before that happens. If I was to do self.options report version mismatch, it wouldn't work. I see, and I'd have to put the parentheses around that before passing in the arguments. In this case, this library, I think what it's referring to is this object here. Let's get GD native library off of that. Okay, there's that. It's just a pointer to that. That's the first option. Next is what? See, what was the function to convert that again? Let's see, scroll up a little bit. As cster. Oh, I see. How do I get a C string from it? Or do I just take a C string here? Let's go back one. C-string new will copy the bytes into a C-string. Okay. Oh, where did C-string go? I'm very new to C-string. From raw, from box, okay, from bytes. Into also work, only if there was a from for it. I don't see a from for that. C-string new, and then we could do what dot as bytes, like so. From and into being related, yes, exactly. It would be hazardous to have the from, or this as bytes. Oh. Where's the standard FFI C-string? Oh, I see. Yeah, what if you did have the null in there? Oh, that's a tough one. Yeah. You can't really guarantee that somebody didn't have nulls in there already. I see. Okay. Now, I thought that you had mentioned also, let's fill this out for a moment. API struct, see that's current version. So the options dot API struct dot, where's API struct? I passed it. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's one of these. And that'll have dot version on it. Okay. Dot version for ZN for SION. There we go. That's what we have. Then we have want. And then have version. Okay. Ah, no version on that. Interesting. From bytes with null, like so. I see. That's API struct version ERSION. Did I spell that wrong? That looks okay. Do I have to dereference that again? Because of the next pointer there? Looks like it. Okay. Now for the last little bit here, pointer const I8. I8, interesting. No deref. Oh, what do they call it in C++? I wouldn't say deref. What? Interesting. Okay, now this what? C string as bytes. Now that returns a U8. Do we just cast that into I8 like they want here? That's strange. Why would it ever take a const of I8s? Let's go back to where we were. Almost there. Or not. Wow, there are a ton of those. Hold on. Go back up at the top. Wait, there. Okay. I guess that's C char. Member access operator. Member access operator. Wow. Oh, of course, it's not a uchar. Ah, I see it. I see it. Okay. All right. Now in this case, U8. As bytes with null. Oh, as C star. And then as pointer. Oh, what the result? Where was that? Looks like it can fail if it has a null. All right. Remember, don't panic in Rust. All right, so now it's saying that this is never used. The have version is there, that's there. Okay. You would allocate the string if the function pointer exists and take in a C string. It seems odd to have to do this on each one of these. But I get if it's like just being used inside of a macro, then how does it know? Instead of allocating every time. Yeah, I was trying to have the unsafe block smaller, but that didn't really work out. I can't have that outside of there. Okay, there we go. I make the C stir from the stir. Allow dead code on the impl block. Oh, thank you. Okay. My network is very busy today. So we're going to be dropping frames occasionally. Mostly because I'm late in my stream. Oh, let's see what's going on. A function pointer equals unsafe. Match that. Some function pointer non-return. Yeah. Let's see, that's unsafe. This here is safe, I think. Yeah, it's safe. Of course it's safe. Now in this case, message, just stir. We should be able to do as bytes on that instead of 1, say we have 4 or whatever. I don't know, is that better? I mean, it seems like it would be easier to just mark this one line as safe. do they have the opposite? Or we could just like, oh, this is safe. Everything else, not really. Now, earlier you were talking about having to release the memory for this. And I'm not sure if this function that we call takes ownership and will free that, or if they're just going to let us do it. I'm not sure. Let's see if they actually have docs on this. CBP. Godot headers, maybe. It won't free it, or it shouldn't. Okay. It shouldn't. Okay. And if there's a version mismatch, Oh, that's probably not the worst thing. Whatever. You think a clean API would just borrow it? Because you can run into problems if the API is across dynamic link boundaries and each side has their own memory allocator. Or is called free. Yes, I agree. I just don't know this C++ code for this. I've got it lying around here. Where is it? I was building it earlier. Probably this tab here. Oh, look. Okay. Oops. Actually complete the search. Here. What's going on here? Where is this? Oh, we're in initialize. Okay. There's the options. There's that function. GD native report mismatch. Where does this come from? Oh, you can turn it borrowed string into a C string without allocating. I would hope not as well. I'm just a little cautious, let's say. That's this one. All right, so PEXT extension block can't be loaded, and they don't do anything else with it other than drop it in that message. Okay. How do you turn it into a C star without allocating? Is that on the slice? C star. As pointer from pointer into C string. Oh, from C star. Okay. From bytes with null. Oh, I see. Then we'd have to figure out if it had a null on it or not. So it might actually be better to just let C string handle it. Creates a C string wrapper from byte slice. This function will cast provided bytes to a C-star wrapper, ensuring that the byte slice is null terminated and does not contain any. Okay. This one's okay, this one's an error, so we have to make sure that it actually... Yeah, I'm trying to hide the FFI kind of warts, and this seems like it would require that the argument had the null on it, and I don't want to do that. But this would allocate, but that's not going to be a bad thing because it's just loading the library. Check the net again. Mostly me. Huh. Okay. Okay. Well, so far so good. I think this might actually work. We can test this out in a bit. It'd be nice to be able to get kind of hide that as well, but yeah, probably less important. All right, that one's done. How about this one? Report loading error. Interesting. So a little bit more of the same. Of function report loading error. Give that a self. Hey, Acton Dev, how's it going? Yeah, C-star is cool. Yeah, I just didn't want to enforce that people had to know that they had to null terminate. Because it seems like, I don't know, it's going to be one of those less used APIs. And for somebody to get it wrong and then have to test it and make sure, it should be easy to get right. Oh, I see tilde back in the day. String being Esther. Ooh, oh, that's wonky. Oh, you fixed the panic you were having yesterday. I didn't see that yesterday. I was kind of going back and forth. How'd you fix it? So in this case, we're just going to hide that. We'll provide what again? Okay. Message, answer. Doesn't look like it returns anything. Kind of more of the same here. Also library, we need that. Just grabbing some easy stuff. Okay, good. All right, so now in this case, report error loading function. We'll do that, call that. We're going to need to pass library, and then whatever the message is. As C-star again, dot as pointer. Okay. Oh, it takes 4. Oh, I got that wrong here. Okay. Before 1.0, the language changed weekly. Firmly in the domain of language archaeologists. Well, Patatas del Papa, welcome. Hello. All right, report unloading. I think this one's okay now. Just double check P library. That's taking the Godot object, and this is the message. Report loading error. Report loading error function. Good, good. All right, now these, I actually want to move up above these functions. All right, we're going to move these up here. It's little quick wrappers. Of function. Actually, we'll do an and self on that. Take that. These are each going to return something else. So we won't complete that yet. And we need an unsafe block. Followed by dereference of self. Dot. That. Yeah, that closes it. 1, 2. Okay. That's close. Not perfect. And this Godot object, this seems like kind of like a opaque pointer. I wonder what this really is. What is a Godot object here? Okay, it is just an opaque pointer. Sorry if you didn't see that. I flipped away too quick. It's just pub type Godot object has libcsc void here. One time it was taken. How does somebody actually take that? It's like, oh, you know what? I mean, maybe they saw it and they thought it was cool. Just possible. Okay, I'm gonna pour some water. There we go. All right, if that was I don't know what the purpose of that would be. I'd be okay if that was just not used, because it seems to be used in these reporting functions and not much past that. It's used in here for library and here for library, so you could report back which library had this error. Sounds the tech community isn't that big. You're bound to recognize a lot of the names. Yes, very true. Very true. And I tried to explain that to one of my kids. Like, yeah, make money off Twitch. Doesn't work for most people. Okay. Let's not have that. I think that's okay. This API struct, though, could be useful, and it probably is useful for knowing what you're actually getting back. Now, in this case, should we clone it and give it back, or give them the pointer? Let's look. Let's see. What is this? Oops, not far enough. Okay, that's not it. Here. Color, oh, interesting. Godot color new RGBA. Oh, these are used for setting up the bindings. Okay, so maybe what would be useful off this? Probably the type, the version, oh, and the next one. The number of extensions. I don't know. That's a tough one. That's a little sketchy. All right, maybe this should be unsafe, pub unsafe, function yada yada. All right, screen keeps going to sleep. Code Show, how's it going? How are you? Just give the simple, obvious things. Non-exhaustive struct, API struct. Yeah, that does seem like the way to go. Now it seems to be referential, like it refers to itself here. I think. Oh no, this is Godot GD native. Oh, I see. This is core API struct, and this is just GD native API struct. I wonder, because the way these are set up, you have the 1.0 API, then the 1.1 API, and they just kind of chain on one to the next. I wonder what this version is compared to the versions that are inside of the API struct as opposed to the core API struct. What's a version difference there? Let's load that up again. I see. So the Godot GD native API struct just has version and type, and then points to the next one. Okay, so that's not that bad. Linked list of the API versions, yeah. Interesting. Now to do this in Rust, these would be boxes? Or just return the next, I see. So actually we could just have a next function that just returns the next one. And that would have a type and a version on that. You could say next on that. Active library path, okay. Strict struct. API, what do we want to call that? API struct? I think API is already taken. Core API? Core API? And that can have one of those in it. Box self or RC self, I see. and that's going to need the version number or some other stuff on it. Core API, new, self API struct. Should be okay. Or if you want to walk during the new calls, it can just be a linked list node. Yeah, I see. Linked list. I've never used that. That's interesting. Yeah, the biggest tech and oh wow, yeah. Going back in the I missed that message from Ragbo. Made a lot of friends, learned the biggest science and tech streamers make sub minimum wage. So you dropped any expectation of income. Yeah. It's been an incredible use to being able to learn things though. And the number of helpful people in the community has been outstanding. To make their API safe, it's going to be some work, by the way. All right. Okay. If you wanted to be naive and efficient, yeah. Lock linked list, build a vector, etc. Yeah. That's probably just the way to go. This only ever happens once at the very beginning. It's probably okay for this to be inefficient. You got some help understanding some edge cases on audio the other day. Oh, that's cool. Audio is hard. Audio is really hard. I was watching you work on this stuff. I was like, oh man, that's. I'm not going to go in there. That's a scary room. Working on audio stuff. You gonna head out? All right, act on Dev. Take care. It's fun though. Yeah, yeah. See ya. All right. So in this case, we're gonna have core API. It's new. It's gonna take one of these things. Core API. No code actions found. Impl core API. Let's toss a new one there. Not a pub, just a function new. It's gonna take us something. All right. It's gonna return a self. Now inside. Whoa. What did I do? Go back. You would store the core API struct on self. On this here, on the callback options. Construct in the new call. Oh, I see. So it doesn't happen, like if somebody asks multiple times for this, they're getting the same thing back. That'd be more like this or something. Corn API, corn API. What'd I do? That's going down in here somewhere. Core API on that. Okay. What is the type on the API struct? Not this one. Interesting, there's a couple of those. Oh, I see. Yeah, just basically break out all of the next into the vector. Okay, and here's the core API struct. Because they have these extensions as well. And there we go, being muted again. Whoa, there we go. Copy. Interesting, this one's mutable? Mutable pointer to const pointer. You have to double deref this to get to it? Actually, it should be one of these, shouldn't it? Yeah. One of those. deref it before passing it in. That could probably be a struct API, struct list, kind vector API. I see. Yeah, and that's what they're using the field for. Okay. All right, so we're gonna have version on there. What else do they need on the core one? Type? I think there's two different types. One is basically if it's a module, and the other if it's a language, like a GD native module versus, excuse me, a GD native extension versus a Godot module. So we'll do type, version. My screen went to sleep again. Or just call it kind. What are they using for that? A uint. I wonder if they have an enum in here for this one. It's the API types constant. Oh, I see. Android AR/VR video decoder. All right, let's use the GD native API types for that. We have version. Would it be weird for this one to be pub and the other one not? Because these up here just have these functions on them. I didn't bother to copy those out instead. I guess these could have been copied out, couldn't they? In this case, it lets them change this. I mean, there isn't a way to have an immutable value here, is there? Because if they get one of these back and then they own the value, they can change it. I guess we could always just pass in a reference, huh? Up here. We could say that the callback always takes borrowed value, and then they wouldn't be able to change it. The closure won't live long enough. Here? Oh, for the borrow. I won't live long enough. I've got trauma for that. Oh. All right. So the borrow is shorter than the callback option's lifetime. I see. All right, then it should be immutable. Oh, this is just options. Okay, I think I like that a little better. You have to construct it outside of the closure and move it in. Okay. Core API hash. Oops, down here. There we go. That's U64. Okay, that one. Probably the same thing for this. All right, then there's the functions. That closure is immediately invoked. If you want to get fancy and totally not safe for Rust, sure. You can transmute those options to a locally defined struct. Just from the bad advice category. Oh, what was the output of that one? I don't remember what that was. Where's the path? Oh, it's just a Godot string. Godot. Okay. We'll just say it's a string and we'll convert it. So if that's a Godot string, from sys on there, where is Godot string? Core. Oh, it's in core types. Okay. Just make sure they're right and then let it go. I used to do that all the time in networking code with C. And you'd have unit tests and everything would be fine. It was just normal. But now I look at that and it's like, I'm uncomfortable with that now. Pound raw pointer. Oh, I have to double deref this one too. Oh, it can't be dereferenced. What type was it? Active library path. Cons pointer to that. Oh, you can use offset. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know about that. That's neat. Godot string here. We should just be... Oh, I dereferenced it too small. There. Oh, yeah. Now it's saying we have too many parentheses. Let's remove the outer layer. I see, to do the pointer arithmetic. Hmm. Actually, where is Godot string? Godot string, let's go to it. What do we have here? From stir to UTF-8 to sys. We have display. We have toString, okay. There we go. Now we have an actual string there. So it's less crazy than just plus, yeah, size of. Oh man. Yeah, incrementing before and after. like having to pay attention to that, and I know the little subtleties there. I'm glad I'm not doing that anymore. All right, so what's going on here? Suspected that, found that. And the version. What do we do for the version info? This one. Just gonna keep that the same. Unimplemented for now. Can I do that? It has to be a little different, doesn't it? Kind of version. Oh, just put the to-do before it? Yes, those sys types, yes. We're coming back to version. Version's the one that I haven't done yet. That and this one here. We'll get there. I want something that works first. All right, what's next? Dereferencing of raw pointer is unsafe. Of course. Oh, yes, yes. Why don't I just dereference that up at the top, and then I'm not doing that over and over and over again? Let options equals options. All right. And one lesser known bit of Rust, like Godot, yada yada, APS. Oh, destructuring, yes. Yes, we could have absolutely done that, huh? That's a really nice way of doing it. Now I must go. All right, getting closer. I absolutely want to do that dereference or that destructuring. All right, so we'll take core API. Yeah, that one's actually going to be API struct. In editor. And what else? Core API hash. Editor API hash. No API hash. Active library path. Ah. Rust Analyzer's been really weird for me on this project. For whatever reason, a lot of the autocompletes and like the code actions, they're just not working on this code base. I don't know why. But I'm really looking forward to them working again. That looks much better. One little unsafe bit there. That's good. How about in here? This one is unsafe still. This one's not unsafe at all. Oh, this function call is. There we go. Nice. All right. Oh, but I was keeping track of that. Why am I keeping track of that? Oh, because of the report version mismatch bits. Let's just keep that too. Oh, but it's this type here. Oh, you can destruct yourself as well. Oh, that's handy.
Well, if you're wondering what's happened, so am I. The computer that we have running our news from time to time took off and went wild. So what we're going to do is start over from the top.
I think we're just going to keep the options around. You can still get options, by the way. DRF doesn't move. Oh, that's right. Still feels like that should be pulled out. There. Just the duplication. All right. Okay. Come back to that. What, store the pointer to the options, not the options itself. Oh, why is that? They aren't giving me ownership of it. I see. Let's see, we were also storing that out separate. What do we call that? Here's core API. Okay. All right. Calling that is unsafe. The rest of it's fine. Okay. All right, a little more of the same. I like the structuring. For some reason, I like it in Rust more than I like it in JavaScript. Mostly because some of the browsers don't have native support for it, so it just ends up generating a lot of code. Not a fan of that. I'd rather just write JavaScript that you're targeting. There we go. Here's a kind, here's a version. Now it doesn't have the list of elements yet. I think it's kind of the next piece of this. Hmm. Types differ in mutability. Interesting. Yes. See, where should that be? Where does $crate come from? Is that always available in a macro? This is the one that we actually get back from Godot, so that stays. Okay, try again. Oh, I see. Crate is a crate where the macro is expanded. It's raining and the dog doesn't want to go outside. That's funny. What kind do you have now? Not found in $crate. Macros? I think that's where it currently is. Oh wow, I've dumped a lot of packets today. 7%. Oh, hopefully it's working. Module macros is private. Sure. All right, so this needs to be somewhere else. Where can we dump that for a bit? Up one level. Oh, German Shepherd, yeah. Some loud, clumsy hound from a shelter. Oh, dodges the creeps didn't pull that in. Okay, that's a good one. Examples, good, good. All right, so Hello World didn't actually use that. Why? Why would those have to know where that is? Hmm. Line 26. Okay, but that's because one of these doesn't have the expanded type on it. Probably here. I said type. I think I meant path because it expands to the function call. I see. So we have to have the absolute path on it, otherwise it doesn't work. Private associated functions. All right. What do we have here? Associated function new is private. Yes. I'm starting to get the hang of this. Okay. Interesting that we're hiding this, but it's still there. It's not like we could make those private. Because this gets expanded in their code. Hmm. Oh, the type isn't in scope for the signature. Okay, well that worked. Interesting. Make it unsafe? Oh, unsafe function, no. Yeah, because now it's public. It should just be unsafe. Because it's taking that pointer. Let's adjust these two. Bless you. I'm gonna have to go in a couple minutes. Well, what if, because we don't own it, what if it changes? And I know it shouldn't. Hmm. Because at that point, we're still pulling stuff out of there. You can check to see if it's null. True. The only problem would be that it points to a function that doesn't exist anymore. Or an evil function. Yes. But I see what you're saying. Basically, if they create this with a valid what's going on? Okay, I think that's it there. Yeah, if they put evil in, then it's fine. They get evil out, right? Garbage in, garbage out there. Okay. That is so much better. How did it do that so fast? Amazing. Okay. They're live, yeah. Unless somebody else is trying to make a replacement of Godot that somehow uses GD native libraries. Like a Neo Godot. Yeah, I can't fix that. Okay, so those are pretty good. I want to toss this um, and see what Carafel and Toast Eater are thinking in terms of this. I think it's the right direction. This is obviously the bigger piece, the unregistered, or rather the terminate is much, much simpler. I think it just has a bool in it. But this should be clean. Yeah, fast failure modes are the only same thing. We have some non-fast failure things at work, and it drives me nuts. The amount of time we spend chasing bugs because of that, it's unreal. Just looking at it again, I think it's pretty good. Add. We'll see, it's a work in progress. What was this? This was 357. I have to admit, I'm still using dash dash force because the other one's harder to type. And it's harder to remember. Get push force with lease. I'd actually have to use fish shell for what it's good at. All right. Well, let's see. Where are we going? It is so much harder to type. I'm never gonna remember it. I'll just use fish shell to autocomplete it for me. If I'm ever on a machine that doesn't have it, I'll just use force. I'm kidding. Now that I know it's there, I'll look for it. Let's see, some sys bits still in the API. Oh, what was it? It was version. Let's see what else was still in the API. I guess that's it. Let's see. Version is how much? What was it called? Not this one. What's the consensus on improving the build times? It's actually been appreciated, and we keep trying to get it more and more, and would like it to even be better. I think the velocity has actually improved just in the little bits that have been done. Just build overrides and stuff like Sin. I see. Yeah, the whole game engine thing, right? How much inline do you want? Probably quite a bit for a game engine. Because if somebody's going to be using Rust, they're probably doing it for performance reasons. inline doesn't do much if it's not generic. Well, it has to be there in order to get to produce information for the shared object or for the crate, right? If you don't include inline, you can't use those functions won't get inlined cross crates. I think that the general idea is they want it to be inlined across crates, only for generic. Oh, is that only for generics? I thought that was not the case. Let's see, doc is. There's a cargo book. Is it Rust C? There's only a single definition, I see. This is generally not necessary for performance and can have a severe impact on compile times in both debug and release modes. Functions like group and bitmask aren't candidates for inlining without inline. I see. Remove all inline. Run cargo bench comparing against master branch and add inline to hotspots as necessary. I see. Interesting. Before and after. Interesting. Huh. Well, thank you for the link. I'm going to read through this later. All right, I got to get running. My daughter is putting on a D&D session, and I have to go be a dwarf. So I got to get my dwarf persona on. All right. Also, LTO should be on in release builds anyway with CGU set to 1. Huh. That way it won't do parallel optimizations. Gotcha. I'm gonna make a note of that real quick. Uh, I'm heading out. Yeah, I was taking some notes and getting ready to head out. So I'm gonna get going and happy Sunday, Bare Knuckle. Bare Knuckle Waffle. Goodness. All right. So until next time, I hope to get a little bit of feedback on this. If it's going in the right direction, we'll finish it up. So till tomorrow. Bye bye.